Hello, my name is Bryan Quarrie, and this is a vlogging video which talks about the recording processes behind the end of year concert 2018, which was put on by the HACS Philharmonia Chorus. Now, before I begin, there are a number of persons that I'd like to give thanks to. First of all, Jesus Christ. Not just for sparing my life, but also allowing me to experience a large-scale recording experience. Next on the list is Mr. Duran Bell. Mr. Duran Bell is a relative of Miss Fiona Paquette, who is the director of the HACS Philharmonia Chorus. How I got this job in the first place was actually during a conversation between Mr. Bell and Miss Paquette, and that the Philharmonia Chorus needed a videographer to record their annual end-of-year concert event. And so he mentioned my name, and as a result I have been recording all of their concerts since 2014. I would also like to give a massive shout out to Kevin Thomas and Theo Guthrie of K&T Photography for their work, Frank Daniel and his team for ably assisting me regarding the audio from the mixing desk. One thing to note here is that during the very first concert I did with these guys, because I didn't have many cameras with me at the time, they also assisted me in using their live stream camera shots as well. And also, I need to give a really big shout out to Mr. Kirk Morrison. Every time I come down to do the recordings, he always feeds me, he accommodates me, and he's a very, very nice guy. And now, sit back and relax as we'll explore the various recording processes that went on behind the scenes at this concert. Now, as you can see here, Hampstead Seventh-day Adventist Church is an old building based on Anglican architecture. You'll notice the pillars going down the left and the right aisles of the main sanctuary. These architectural features initially did present a bit of a challenge, but it enabled the concert to be organized in such a creative way, as the following demonstrates. The brass section were placed along the left side of the sanctuary, facing the audience from there. And the string and the woodwind section were placed along the right side of the sanctuary, facing the audience from there. And finally, in front of the audience were the choir and the semi-chorus. This unique setup was what made the concerts what they were. A very unique experience indeed. Depending on the repertoire, when it comes to the placement of soloists and solo musicians, we tend to place them where the other choristers are for the soloists, or by the other musicians for the instrumental soloists. The Christmas concerts have always been planned about a year in advance, and so during this time it gives the organizers of the concert creative freedom regarding the placement of the vocalists, the soloists, the musicians, and so the concerts have become very unique every single year. As you can imagine, this also poses some very unique challenges for videography as well. Hampstead Seventh-day Adventist Church is almost the same size as the church where I attend, which is Camp Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church in Birmingham. I reckon there's about between 300 and 400 people that attend here. I could be wrong, so someone correct me. However, on this particular event, because there are quite a lot of visitors from the broader community as well, resulting in spaces full to capacity, It means for a lone videographer catching as many different shots as possible, I have to work in a very stealthy sort of mode. So I have to wear black, and even though I am about 6'8", sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge, but I also have to perform in a way that doesn't bring too much attention to myself or distract the audience and ruin their enjoyment of the concert. To achieve this aim, I tend to use medium-sized to small-sized Handycam shaped cameras. Now the reason for this is because even though Hampstead Church is a large building, when it gets full with special guests and other people filling the building, walking around in a cramped space carrying a huge hulking broadcast level TV camera would obviously be a massive turn off for those at the concert seeking to enjoy the experience. Another benefit of using these cameras is that they enable me to get from one place to another place very quickly. But of course I would normally do that between songs, obviously not in the middle of a performance, for the same reasons as mentioned before. In addition to my main camera, I also use 7 other cameras to cover me while I do the main work, taking the close-ups and other action shots, if you like, where significant moments are taking place. These other cameras are used to offer different perspectives of the concert, and in the finished edited version of the concert video they appear at strategic points, like for instance Fiona the conductor making specific gestures with her hands on songs like The Virgin Mary Had a Baby Boy, particularly towards the end, or when one of the solo musicians start to make certain hand gestures on their instrument. Of the 8 cameras that are used to record this film, the first camera is handheld, which is the one that I'm using for the clips here. The second Handycam style camera is in a fixed position placed at the front of the conductor. A third Handycam style camera is used to shoot the stage from the back. And finally, the other cameras are placed in strategic positions, like for instance behind the piano or an overhead shot of the organist. The strings and woodwind and brass sections also have their own wide-angle camera as well. Regarding the recording of the audio, it's a very unique method that I use, which is called the dual system recording method. What this means is that more than one device is used to record the audio. For example, on my end I use a Zoom H2N handy recorder, which is used to record the room tone, if you like, or the ambient sound of the orchestra. As you'll be able to see in this shot, the Zoom H2N is a recorder that looks like a microphone, and it is placed on a light stand which is hoisted about 9 feet in the air to the right of Fiona the conductor. Now it's placed at that height to capture the ambience of the hall. And on Hampstead's AV end, they actually record the direct sound from the microphones. After the concert finishes, I normally give a USB thumb drive to Frank Daniel, who is the leader of the AV department, to copy the recorded audio from his digital mixing desk, so that when I go home to edit the video, I basically mix what I've got with what he did in the editing software, so that what we have is a nice immersive audio experience, as well as something that is good to watch as well. Also, to add thanks to the crew that he directs as well, in making sure that there are no bleeps or buzzes or feedbacks or anything like that, so that everything is running smoothly. And not forgetting the photography, which was done by Kevin Thomas and Theo Guthrie of K&T Photography. Once they have finished taking their pictures and made the edits to them, they are also sent to me so that I could compile a short slideshow out of it, which becomes part of the bonus features of this DVD. In the end, the process of gathering all of the clips from all of the cameras, getting the pictures from KNT, and doing the editing and creating the DVD and all of those things would take between 2 and 2.5 months. During this particular process, I often give updates to Fiona Paquette, the director, and also making creative choices, more like creative collaborative choices, regarding things that stay in and things that end up on the cutting room floor, as it were. In conclusion, over the 6 years of going to events that have been organised by the HACS Philharmonia Chorus, I'm very, very pleased to say that we have developed very good, very close professional relationships with each other, and long may it continue, so that the next event that they organise will always be something that I will look forward to in the future.